Okay. If I can have your attention. The first question says, use the following figure to find the volume. What shape is this? A sphere. And so yesterday we learned the formula for volume of a sphere. What was that? 4/3 pi r cubed. Make sure you have r cubed on your notes. I had a couple people had squared on accident. It is cubed. And what is my radius here? My radius is 7, so I'm just going to plug in 4/3 pi 7 cubed. And then we are going to plug this into our calculator. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. So 4/3. Don't put pi in the calculator. And remember to do cubed. It's right next to the squared button, and then you have to type in the 3. Do I like ugly decimals like this? No. Hit the fraction button right next to that. And I'm going to get 1,372/3. Pi. Don't forget your pi. And what's my units here? Centimeters cubed, because it's volume. It's centimeters cubed. What questions do I have about that? Next, it says, use the following figure to find the total surface area. What shape is this? A cylinder. So for total surface area of a cylinder, by the way, on your test, I am going to be giving you these formulas right here. And the way that you're going to read this is you're in the surface area column. I want to go find cylinder, and do I want lateral or total? What does the question ask for? Look at your paper. Total. So I want this formula. Remember, I want you to write down the formula first. So that formula is 2 pi RH plus 2 pi r squared. Again, just looking at that, it can kind of be intimidating. However, I'm giving you that. You don't have to remember it. You don't have to figure it out. It's going to be on the board. What is my radius here? 3. What is my height here? 9. And I'm just going to plug in those two numbers right here. My radius is 3. My height is 9. It's always going to be 2 right there. I just plugged in the R's and the H's. And now that I wrote the formula down, I plugged it in, what am I going to do? Type it in your calculator. So I'm going to type in, what are we not going to type in? Don't put pi in. And be careful, there's a plus sign right there, a 2, and then we got 3 squared. What do I get? But my answer is not 72. What is my answer?
2 inches squared.
Don't forget your pi.
Oh, pi.
72 pi inches squared. Why is it inches squared?
This is squared. Because the area.
Because it's area. Remember, volume is 3D, area is 2D. What questions do I have about the warm-up? Anything? All right, if you can please put that away. Today, we are going to be talking about pyramids and cones. Mostly pyramids. Now, what is the difference between a pyramid and a prism? There are two main differences. A pyramid only has one base. That's one of the biggest ones. So here's my pyramid right here. It only has one base down here. I do want to tell you the base of a pyramid does not have to be a square. It's going to be a lot of the times in here. Does not have to be. It can also be a triangle. So do y'all agree that's still a pyramid? Yes. That is the other difference. My lateral faces around are always going to be what in a pyramid? Triangles. This is a triangle. They make triangles. But look, this is a square and it still makes triangles. Where a prism, here's a prism, has two bases and a round is what? Rectangles. A pyramid has one base and a round is triangles. Those are the two big things. I do want you to know right up top, this point up top, I call the apex. That's just the highest point in the pyramid. One of the vertex. It's a vertex, but it's the highest one, so it's the apex. And pyramids are special because they have two heights. So one of the heights is from the very middle of the bottom, this point right here, to the apex. How tall is this pyramid? That's one of the heights. But it also has something called a slant height. So can y'all please look up? A slant height is how tall the lateral face is. Okay? I like to think of it as if you were to slide down. So let's say a firefighter is saving somebody on top of a pyramid. If the firefighter would go straight up and down, like that's like, fire poles and they go up and down, whatever, that's the regular height. But if you're not used to that, you would slide down. Now, are you going to want to slide down the edge right here? Yeah, no, that's going to hurt your butt. Let's not slide down right there. We want to slide down the middle, the height of the triangle. It's the height of the triangle right here. That is the slant height. Okay? And no matter what the base is, it will have that. Okay? We are also going to deal with cones. Do y'all agree? Cones has just one base. It's like a pyramid, except what? It's a circular base, which means it has no lateral faces. There's no flat surface right here. This is still my apex. It does still have a slant height if you slide down the cone. Still has a slant height. And the height is still how tall is the cone. Okay? So we are going to go through and do these notes. If you can please go to your notes, last day of notes on these, and open up to your last page in them and fold it back. These notes might take a long time. I just need y'all to bear with me, please. I know it can get a little bit boring. I know we're very exhausted. So just stay with me, okay? Please take these notes. If you ask me questions tomorrow and you do not have these notes written down, I'm going to say go look at your notes. And if you have nothing, I'm not going to help you because you need to be writing notes down. So, first things first, slant height. Remember that slant height where you slide down? Yeah. This is an L. It's an L. It's a cursive L. And the reason we use a cursive L is because if I use a not cursive L, it looks like a 1. And I don't want y'all to get confused. So this L we call the slant height. What is P? Perimeter of what? Of the base. What is B? What about the base? It's the area of the base. And last but not least, H is the height. Finding those 4 things is going to be the hardest part of this. After that, y'all should be good. So my formula for lateral surface area is 1/2 PL. That's to find what all the triangles added up are. Write it down, please. Remember, we are going to do LSA or LA for lateral surface area. I've been saying LSA, but today, bless you, Today, somebody noticed on the formula chart, it just says LA. LSA, LA, same thing. What about my total surface area, my SA? I'm going to take my lateral, 1/2 PL, and what am I going to add? B. Why B? Because there's just one base. So we're just going to add B, not like on Prism. Remember we added 2B? This one we're adding 1B. And my volume, which we call V, is 1/3. Everybody make sure you write 1/3, not 1/2. 1/3 big BH. Why is it a third? It's a third of a prism. Look at it. Because then you have one right here and right here. And it makes the total. Okay. Again, these will always be given to you. You do not have to have them memorized. All right? So now let's solve these problems right here. For the first one, looking at this picture, example 1. What is my slant height? What is my L? 13. Do y'all agree you would slide down right here? That's the L. Write that down, please. Yodi, write it down. What is my regular height here? 12. Do y'all see the difference between slant height and regular height? Meters, yep. Yeah. What else do I need to know to figure out these problems? The perimeter. I didn't mention this, but I do want to mention this. For this class, your bases do not have to be regular. What does that mean, regular, in my class? What does it mean for a shape to be regular? Louder? It is 2D. What has to equal? The sides. If something's regular, all the sides are equal. For a pyramid, they don't have to be equal. However, in here, for the most part, they are going to be. So if you see a shape like this and I only give you one side, it's probably a square. And I know I say don't assume in this class, but we're going to assume most of these shapes are regular. All right? Normally, I'll give you both sides to prove it's a square. But if I don't, it's a square. So if this is a square, how do I find the perimeter of this base? Add all the sides, 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10. Or what could you do? 10 times 4. Either one of those, they both work. Perimeter is add all the sides. Big B, how do I find the area of this base of the bottom? 10 squared or 10 times 10. Either one works. What do I get? 100. What we just did is the hardest part of this. For some of y'all, basic, cool, cake, that means it's easy. For others, you're like, yeah, I don't know how you did P and B, and I'm so confused. Again, P is perimeter, add up all the sides on the bottom. B is your base. What is the area of the bottom? So 10 times 10, because both sides are 10. Now I just need to plug in to these three formulas. So I'm going to do LSA, SA, and V. Remember, when you are plugging in, write the formula, plug in the numbers, give me the answers. It should be 3 steps every time. So let's copy this formula from the top. What formula do we have up top right here? 1/2 PL. 1/2. What is my P? 40. What is my L? And put that in the calculator. What do we get for our answer? 260 meters squared. What's my formula for total surface area? 1/2 PL plus B. Y'all, did we already figure out what 1/2 PL is?
Yeah.
So could you just write 260 plus the B? Sure. I'm going to plug it all in again, but you could just write 260 if you already know it. What was B? Thank you. What is 260 plus 100? And if you're not sure, just add the plus 100. It is 360. What is the volume formula? 1/3 big VH. What? So the height that we found over here of the prism. So we already found big B. What was big B? Yep. And what was the height of my prism? So 1/3, 112. It is 400 meters cubed because it's volume. If you do not have that written down, please write that down. Jocelyn, you with me? What questions can I answer? We okay? Okay. That one was a little bit easier to find, the P, the B, all that, right? Number 2, a little bit more complicated. I don't know why it printed like this. Sorry. By the way, if you're watching the video and you need to pause it so you can get the answers. What's wrong with this problem? It's missing my slant height. Do y'all agree it's missing right here? Well, I know regular H is 8. What is this down here?
Right triangle.
I did create a right triangle. But what is how much is that going to be?
6.
Why 6? Because the whole thing is 12, so it's going to be half of it, which is 6. Can everybody write a 6 right there? Off your computers. You're not looking at your computers. You're looking at my board. Y'all, how do I find this L right here? Can divide by 2. We have to do Pythagorean theorem. What's Pythagorean theorem? And what am I looking for here? What's that L? Which letter?
C.
That is my C. Why is it my C? Because it's the longest one. It's across from 90. We're going to get there. So I have 8 squared and 6 squared. Or you could do 6 and 8. It doesn't matter. How do I get L by itself? Square root. Is that coming back to y'all? Y'all remember Pythagorean theorem a little bit? So I'm going to put that in my calculator. The square root of 6 squared plus 8 squared is 10. It is a 3, 4, 5. Because what is 3 times 2? What's 4 times 2? What's 5 times 2? It is a 3, 4. It's a multiple of a 3, 4, 5. Yep, you're right. All right, what's my height? Shh, hold on, focus, please, focus. What is my height? How tall is it? Language. How tall is it? 8 feet. I know that's really hard to see. This picture's gross. By the way, you're going to have to kind of start writing small. If you're already down here, it's going to take a lot more room. My perimeter. Remember, we're doing the perimeter of the base, of the bottom. How do I find the perimeter of the bottom?
48.
You can do 12 times 4, or you can do 12 plus 12 plus 12 plus 12. Either way, you get 48. And last thing we need to find is big B. How do we find that? 12 squared, because it's a square, or you can do 12 times 12, or 12 squared. What is that? Mike, are you with me? I know. I know we're tired. Felix, you with me over there? Now you have all 4 things. I'm going to give you a minute. I would like you now to plug in and give me what is the LSA, what is the S total SA, and what is the V. Go. Oh, that goes. I got it. I was thinking your 48 was your big B.
Your height is a close.
I got you. I see what you did.
Your height? Yeah. I wasn't on that.
Please write your formulas. Plug it in. Our P was 48. Our L was 10. When you put this in Desmos, what did you get? What'd you get? 240 is correct. So this is going to be 240. What are my units? Feet squared, because it's area. Now again, you could just do right here 240 plus the B. I'm going to fill it all in, but that's what you could do. What's my B? 144. Make sure you plus 144, not times it. And you get 384 feet squared. Last but not least, volume. Volume is 1/3 big B. H, what's H? And when you put that in the calculator, coincidentally, you get the same thing as the surface area. That's not going to happen often, but it will happen. And this one's going to be feet cubed. Shh. again, what's the hardest part about this?
Finding the
Finding that top part. Whether it's the slant height because of Pythagorean theorem or adding all the sides, just remembering those parts. What questions do I have? Unfortunately, we're only halfway done with the notes.
what? How?
Because we have the bottom part. But the bottom part's going to go a lot quicker.
We don't need to know about cones, though.
We do need to know about cones. But what's nice about cones, can I move on? Okay. What's nice about cones is cones are actually the same formulas. 1/2 PL, 1/3 big BH, and 1/2 PL plus B. However, your formula chart is very nice, and for cones, they don't make you find the P and the big B. So let me show you what I mean. Can y'all all look up? I'll show you this in a second. Y'all all look up. For cones, it actually tells you, hey, it's just pi RL. Well, how come it's pi RL? What's the perimeter of a circle? That's area. What's perimeter? 2 pi r. And what's 1/2 times 2? So this is why this is pi RL. I want you to use this formula, not this one. Well, they missed. Why'd you write it down? Well, because I want you to know they're the same thing. But this is the formula you're going to use for cones. Can y'all write cones right above this so you know? Same thing here. We're not going to use this one. We are going to use pi RL plus, what's my big B for a cone? What's the area of the base of a cone? Pi r squared. Do you have to memorize this or know what I'm doing or anything like that?
No.
I am giving you this. It literally says, hey, cones, here you go. So the day of the test for cones, these two will be there. It won't be the ones in front. So if you want to like cross those out, know that they're the same, but these are the ones you're using. Unfortunately for volume, this is what they give you. So we're going to talk about that in just a minute. All right, let's look at this first example. This cone's sideways, but that doesn't matter. What's my R? What's my height of this cone? Do y'all agree if you were to turn it over, the height, how tall it is 24? Right, Yurdi? Right, yeah. What's my slant height? If you were to slide down the cone, 25. Does everybody agree with that?
Is it always going to be like a number like above?
I don't understand the question.
Like it's going to be longer than
Yes. Oh, okay. Will it always be one number above? No. So for instance, this one was 10, that one was 8. No. But these three numbers are going to have to do Pythagorean theorem. So 7 squared plus 24 squared does equal 25 squared. But no, it won't always be one number. But this one will always be bigger. The slant height should always be bigger. Yep. All right, now that I know that, that's all I need to know for this whole thing. Y'all ready? Let's plug in. My LSA. What's the formula for LSA? No, the one for cones. Pi RL. So I'm going to do pi. Are you going to have to memorize that? No. By the way, do y'all agree all cones are circular?
Yes.
What should every answer you have? Pi. Every answer should have pi. Don't put pi in the calculator, but what is 7 times 25? Wow, don't put E either.
175.
So my answer here is 175 pi. And it's going to be units squared. On your test, as a reminder, your test is multiple choice, so you don't have to worry about the units. What questions do I have about lateral surface area? Total surface area, what's my formula? pi RL plus pi R squared. Let's just plug in. We're doing pi RL again. Plus pi, what's my R again? 7 squared. Put that in the calculator without pi. Whoa. And what do I get? Shh, boys. What do I get? 224 is not my answer. Pi. Write it down, please. Do y'all agree both of those you just basically copied down the formula, plugged in? We did not have to search for anything yet. That's why we like cones. However, volume of cones is not the same. The volume of cones is 1/3 big BH. You have to know how to find big B. Now, everybody look up, please. Denise, you with me? Jocelyn, you with me? Yoda, you with me? What is my base of a cone? Circle. Big B stands for? What about the base? What is the area of a circle? So instead of writing big B, I'm going to write pi R squared. Because big B is pi R squared. And then I'm going to write H. Now, can you just plug in information?
Yes.
But you have to know that that big B is pi R squared. So 1/3 pi 7 squared. What's my H? 24. And plug that into Desmos. So I'm going to do 1/3, no pi, put 7 squared times 24. What do I get? 392. That is not my answer though. Pi. And this is going to be units cubed. Make sure you don't put pi cubed. You need to put units cubed or centimeters cubed or whatever they are. What questions do I have? All right, last one. What do I know? What? My radius is what? 3. Make sure you don't put 6. The radius is 3. What else do I know? The height is 4. What is my slant height going to be? I have 3. I have 4. What's it going to be? 5. My slant height is 5. Y'all need to memorize 3, 4, 5. If you didn't memorize that, what could you do? No. Pythagorean theorem. I'm going to give y'all 2 minutes. I want you to find all the information here. Go. Plug into these formulas and find out the information. What did y'all get for lateral surface area when you plugged it in? What's 3 times 5? So 15 pi is my answer. Does that make sense? Then we have 3 times 5 plus 3 squared. We're going to put that in the calculator. 24 pi is what you got? Let me, not that I don't trust you. Yeah, it's still that one thing you did that one time. 24 pi is correct. And 1/3 big BH. Again, what is my big B going to be here? Pi r squared, and then don't forget your h. Big B, I turn that into pi r squared. My r is 3 squared. What's my h? 4. And when you put that in the calculator, what do you get? 12 pi, and it'll be units cubed. What questions do I have about cones and pyramids? Again, hold on, boys. Shh. I've thrown a lot at you the last 3 days. We were supposed to do a practice worksheet after this. I don't know if we'll have time for it. But tomorrow, I'm not teaching at all. Tomorrow is going to be a straight up, y'all get time to practice all this so that you don't have to listen to me talk. You do have a quiz over all this on Friday, but you get to use your notes. All right? All right, thank you.